These white boys with their AR-15s are going to be kicking indoors, man. There's going to be cannibalism. There's going to be no food in your grocery stores, and that's what it's going to take for you hard-headed Jakes to realize, oh man, we're living in the last days. No shit, Sherlock. Don't you see the marauders and the pitchforks and all these? Hey man, you got certain white boys that are salivating to get in Jake, man. They got plate carriers. They got level 4 sappy plates.
I got it
they,
all.
I know you do. I know. You got your high cuts.
Yeah,
see, that's the steer, man. I could tell in his eye, man. He was one of those, man. But guess what? Jake got the same shit, man.
He's gonna die, man. He's gonna die even before he tried to do it.
And the difference is, guess what? He don't have the Lord, man. And that's gonna be used as a weapon of the Lord's indignation. That man, that man.
Shalom, Yasha Allah. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Chachdash, double unto beloved elders and the apostles, a great millstone that taught me this truth. While peace and salutations to all you hopeful elect Akim out there laboring, that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Amar from the GMS Boise, Idaho camp, and I'm coming at you with a highlight moment from camp from yesterday. And the moment that I want to highlight is us, myself, through the Spirit and the brother, expounding on it, how we were talking about how Esau is going to roll on Jake, and how when society collapses and Jacob's trouble commences and the government powers and law and order is taken down, it's dismantled, because for a short moment Esau is going to allow these people to go at each other's throats. A dog-eat-dog world, or survival of the fittest. It's going to get real medieval in this bitch. The book of Eli, the Walking Dead series. Everybody wandering in groups, looking for different resources to survive, doing whatever they can and whatever to make sure that they are surviving the next day. That's the mentality of these white boys out here, these Edomites, man, because these Edomites are bloodthirsty and ready to get busy on Jake, and they're just looking at the police like they're in their way. The police are getting in their way from them really taking care of the problem in this country, man, which is how they see you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And as you can see, I was going in through the Spirit, expounding on what these devils have, and I was talking about sappy plates and AR-15s, and which is just a regular semi-automatic rifle that's similar to the one the U.S. military uses. Sappy plates is going into those plate carriers, and the sappy plate is Small Arms Protective Insert. It's an acronym that the U.S. military uses for their body armor. Pretty much just saying body armor, But the point is that white boy in the Spirit, he said, I got all that. I know it's very common. And let me say that it's not uncommon for your Edomite to have a ballistic helmet, a plate carrier, and a rifle, which I have to say is just common sense when it comes to you having the most modern sword, especially in these last days. So Esau is not out of his mind for having those things like society makes it seem like, and I'm not faulting at all this Edomite for having that mentality, because he's going to serve his purpose in the time of Jacob's trouble, when this devil starts to really show his horns, and he could have helped but show his horns then. Which is my sword, KJV. I'm gonna look, and this is here it is. This is called La Yahweh Bashim Yashai. This is Psalm 17 and 13. Arise, O Lord Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked. And the wicked is a nation of people on this earth, and that's you so-called white people, you Edomites. This is the point. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. And we know that this man is out salivating for Jake. Perpetual hatred, and his main target is you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you Israelites. This is Ezekiel 35:5, because this is talking about Esau, Edom, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. Perpetual means forever, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel, because that's all the Lord is concerned about, the Israel. We know that there's slavery all around the world, and that every nation enslaves each other. We don't care, man. We're only concerned with our people, and as well as Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is only concerned with the remnant of his people. The remnant, not all these people that are going through hard times. You got these Edomites saying, well, the Irish were slaves. Well, guess what? Those Irish were Israelites, and even if there was a mix of Edomites amongst those Irish that got enslaved, we don't care. This is Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. So going back to this devil proudly, admitting that he has these things. And I was just talking about cannibalism and getting at Jake's throat, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And for him to say, yeah, I have all that, which means, hey, man, and if you saw the point of view from the brother and I, man, this devil had that killer look in his eye, man. Like the only thing stopping him from getting at us was these laws. But this is 2nd Ezra 15 and 15. For the sword, I'm gonna start at 14. Woe, which means destruction to the world and them that dwell therein, because this is the place of judgment. Under the sun is the place of judgment, and this is where Jacob's trouble is gonna happen on the earth. Verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Because America has, on average, and this is just the ones that are recorded, 120 guns per every 100 people on this land. So there's going to be no shortage of pew-pews in these last days. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. Sedition is going against the law and order of the land, going against the government. And invading one another, they shall not regard their kings, like I just said, nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. People are going to get tired of, we have a plan. We're going to make America great again. Just stand by and stand down. We're going to do this. No, the good old boys aren't going to want to hear that anymore. They're going to see Jake and they're going to want to get active, man. And that's what we're telling you, that this devil still hates you to this very day, Jake. So to think that you have friends of these Edomites and that your neighbor down the street, that you're showing, I have all this emergency food. I know what's going to happen. All this. He's looking at you like you're that piece of chicken in a stranded island in the desert somewhere. And they're getting what do they call the mirage? And they're looking at you like you're going to be that biscuit in that day, man. Because these Israelites are going to be victims that make this devil their friend, man. They go around this man, etc. This is verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So a man, desiring to go into another city because there's going to be chaos around the world. So the flow of goods is not going to happen. You're not going to have any resources coming in, and you're not going to have any resources going out. Anybody escaping and nobody coming in. So wherever you're at, that's where you're at. And that's what's going to make it this place really, what is it called? A fight for resources. Because whatever the city has on its shelves at this moment, hey man, that's all they have. There's no resupply coming in. Verse 18, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And when a man is afraid and when he thinks he has nothing else to lose, he loses it, man. And that's why you're going to see cutthroat, medieval type horror movie actions taking place out here in these last days. And this is the point, and I'm going to close this lesson out. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. Why is he going to do this? Why is he going to spoil their goods? This is because of lack of bread and for great tribulation, because there's no food. He's getting hungry. And when you get hungry, you get hangry. You start getting desperate. And these Americans are not used to being hungry, not used to always having food readily available, not being able to go to the grocery store and seeing everything that they need right there. Man, these Babylonians go to the store and let's say, example, their favorite fucking shampoo is sold out. Man, they're like, what is this? Why do I have to buy a different type of shampoo if I know they always have mine here? They're gonna bug out, man. And that's why we have, the stability of our times And the strength of our salvation is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Now, I spoke too early. I'm gonna close it out on this one, because this is what's gonna get through. This is what's gonna be going through the elect's mind to get us through these last days. This is Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is his treasure. And that's why, it just made me think of in Psalms in 91, where it says, thy rod and thy staff comfort me. Representation, to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Chachadash, because that stability, when you're walking through uneven terrain, is that staff, and that stability, that support, and what's going to get us through is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Not anything that we can lean upon ourselves, or that we can procure ourselves, not your material goods, not other people around you. Only Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to be able to get us through these last days. And while everybody else is trusting in their weapons, Esau is looking to grease up his pews. Amen. We're going to know that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is dealing with us when we start to see miraculous things, getting out of situations in miraculous ways. And that's where you have to focus your faith, and understand that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is not going to let his remnant be completely destroyed. Even though some of us are going to have to pay the ultimate price, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to give us a spirit to be able to deal with that when that time comes, if that time comes. And that's why we're preparing ourselves right now in the spirit, so that when those days comes, we're ready for anything. So Lord willing, that this lesson was edifying unto the elect. Till next time, I would like to give all glory, honor, and infinite praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Chachadash, and double honors to beloved elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that have taught me this truth. While peace and salutations to all you hopeful elect Akim out there laboring, that are pushing this word in truth and in sincerity. Till next time, Lord willing, Shalom.